I'm Stephen John Drew from the official GonnaGeek.com podcast, a proud member of the Gonna Geek Network, just like the one you're listening to now. The opinions expressed are those of each individual. Check out other geeky podcasts at GonnaGeekNetwork.com and get ready because geekiness begins in 3, 2, 1.
Stand by for a brand new episode of All Things Good and Nerdy.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen and people of the internet, using whatever terms are non-gendered that I probably didn't use properly. We're back after a few weeks off, after some time off. This is the return of the All Things Good and Nerdy podcast, recorded live on Thursday, November 14th, 2024. My name is Chris. You probably may not remember all of us. It's been a while. I'm Chris. Like I said, I'm joined by the usual band of misfits. We're reunited. It feels okay. We'll start first with Mr. Anthony Bachman.
Negative. I'm a meat popsicle.
The more things change, the more they stay the same. We are still here with the meat popsicle and Mr. Willie Nelson.
I don't think it's that cold outside to be that freezing, but I mean,
it's freezing here tonight.
It's cold tonight. It was when I woke up this morning about 40 degrees. And a sad moment for Chris is that I had bought myself a nice Wi-Fi connected little space heater last winter. It was great. I could turn that on. I could be in my living room and turn it on.
Does a space heater need Wi-Fi?
So that I can control it from anywhere in the house.
Oh, the remote control is Wi-Fi.
The space heater itself had Wi-Fi built into it so that it would link up with Google Assistant. No. This was perfect because I had it set up with my alarm clock that when my alarm on my phone went off, it would turn on the space heater. And about 10 minutes after that, I'd be going down into my home office and then it would have started to warm things up. Well, the sad thing here is my space heater got recalled because it was a tip-over threat and could have caused a fire. And my new space heater hasn't arrived yet, so it was cold in my basement this morning of a whopping 59 degrees when I came downstairs.
But that very much falls in the, now when the computer in your space heater dies, you can't turn on your space heater. No, it's getting too high-tech.
No. It still had buttons and a physical remote, so even if the Wi-Fi didn't work,
for now it has buttons.
Well, it doesn't anymore because the damn thing was recalled. And as part of that recall, I had to take my little space heater here, snip the plug off of it, send them a photo of it with the bottom of it saying it was recalled with the recall number and the date that I did it so that they would send me a check for what I paid for it. So I am getting fully refunded, but my nice little Govee space heater here, because there's a tip over threat, is recalled. I had to cut the plug off of it and I will dispose of it once they send me my check for $35. I think I paid for it. I can't remember.
That's so much work. So much work just to get warm. Does the Wi-Fi waves that keep you warm down there?
No, the ceramic panels that heat up kept me warm when the damn thing worked. I cut the plug off of it last week because it got recalled.
Listen, call me a troglodyte if you will, but
you're a troglodyte.
Just go in the room, turn on the heater, go back up for some coffee while it does its thing. And
Really, the point was it became easy enough I didn't have to think about it. The alarm went off and the heat turned on. You got to remember, in my house, I have made everything as smart as I can. Like even the TV and stuff is like I walk in the room like, hey, a word, turn on the Shield TV and it flips everything on, sets the inputs. Or if I want to play Xbox, I say turn on the Xbox and it does all that.
Don't call Alexa an asshole.
So why can't you say, hey, asshole, turn on the heat in the basement?
I could have when it worked. I had to cut the plug off the heater.
Bachman, you ever seen The Office?
It doesn't work anymore.
You remember when Michael Scott had the great idea? Let me set my my George Foreman grill to a timer. So you remember all the great things that happen when you try to do a little too much, make things automated. Greatness should not be achieved that close to the sun.
Whatever, man. I do what I want.
All right.
You know
You're
what?
not my supervisor.
if you wanted to do what you want, you shouldn't have cut the cord. You should have kept it plugged in and lived life wildly.
Yes, because I really want to burn down my house when
Chris is
there's
a known,
lots of other problems in life.
Chris is a known cord cutter.
It is true.
Don't
I am a
do
known
that.
cord cutter. I cut the
You know
cord
what?
years ago.
I applaud that joke. You win.
It was a good one.
It's
I
a
like
good one. I also approve of cord cutting.
I think we're all cord cutters in here. Or do you have the cables again? I can't remember.
But I do have to ask, was it so supremely oddly satisfying to actually just take a pair of scissors and just snip through the actual electrical cord?
It felt so wrong, but so fun at the same time.
I wanted to hear the gritty detail. I want to feel vicariously through. You want to feel it.
Pretty good. I just use standard scissors for it. But the reason I had to do it is was part of the recall. I had to upload photos of the cut plug so that they could see that I cut it. And they said it has to be cut no more than like 6 inches away from the base because they don't want someone splicing it back together to use it.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I had to take Sharpie and write on the bottom of it a specific number that they assigned me, and the date that I did it to send them the stuff. And I guess I got a notification in the mail today that within 15 days I should get my check from them. So
Nice.
minor inconvenience, but I will give the company credit that for recall purposes, they're at least making sure everyone gets their money back.
Minor. You had to do so much shit for them. Like what? You had to itemize it, put it on, destroy it for them.
This is like
what?
Willie, I did
specifications.
hold on. I did
Sorry.
5 minutes of work here to get my $35 back.
You didn't ask to have a problem. They made you the problem. They're expecting you to fix it for them.
Well, I mean, I could have just done nothing and not gotten my money back.
You know,
Well, then they still did the shitty things and never mind.
I mean, I don't have a great problem with the fact that they did a voluntary recall. I was notified via Amazon that sent me an email of the recall and by the company themselves because I had registered the product that the recall was going on. Here's where you go to process your recall. And it was 5 minutes of work on my end. I'm okay with that.
Can't have no rant here no more. Can't
I mean,
have no fun.
You can rant if you want.
I tried and you just shut it down.
Well, I mean, but you were ranting at a company for doing the right thing. It was a voluntary recall.
I don't think it was supremely selfless.
Well, no, they don't want to be liable for someone's house burning down.
Well,
Also,
yeah,
but
that was the real. I'm pretty sure that's the real reason. We don't want to get sued. That's the real reason. Don't say it like I feel like it's maybe not the truest to say they had the noblest of intents.
I didn't say they had noble intentions.
I'm using hyperboles here.
most car companies, whether they say they have the noblest of intents or not, they wait until the government forces them to do a recall. They don't do it on their own.
Hey, you remember how back in like the 90s and 80s when cars had those automatic seatbelt things?
I do. I had a car like that growing up.
Did you know, from the way I heard it, was the government made the automobile makers force them to have one or two options, either the automated seatbelt or airbags. Airbags cheaper in the long run. So everywhere airbags. But also, to be fair, it's probably more safe than those automatic seatbelts.
Well, the automatic seatbelt wasn't really that safe because it would put the shoulder strap on, but not a lap strap. So literally, you would just get hit and go and slide out the bottom because there's nothing holding you in place.
I mean, it's better than slipping out the front top and going out the front windshield.
I mean, that's true.
Slightly.
But your crushed pelvis in the end isn't really going to thank you.
I mean, but I'm thinking my crushed pelvis nightly. Bad joke. I'm just gonna stop.
I'm confused. We're rusty at this, but we're not that rusty, are we?
We're rusty buckets.
Oh.
What does that mean?
Nothing.
I'm so confused.
I'm just saying something.
Speaking of bucket list.
Uh-oh.
Nobody said bucket list.
What's on your bucket list that you want to talk about, Willie?
Some stuff that's been happening in the world.
Proceed.
Uh-oh.
There's a swerve here, and I'm just not sure what it is, so I'm going to let
And
it
it's
roll.
not Strickland.
Forget who it's one of you two sent it in the chat where a new soda flavor, and I'm curious. I want to try it.
I don't know if it's real.
Ooh, I would.
That was the caveat. Was I don't know if this is real.
It might be a falsity.
Yeah. So I will screen share it here in a sec while Willie explains it to say why I don't think it is real.
I mean, listen, as I described what Dr. Pepper, or at least this image is implying that Dr. Pepper is doing, is making a new flavor of candy corn.
The worst candy ever they want to make into a soda. If this is real. If
worst candy, I would say that's debatable as the worst candy.
What's worse than candy corn?
Listen, candy corn is it gets old fast, but it's good for that first couple. Like
what I said was, what's worse than candy corn, and you dodged.
Tequila suckers.
Lint covered pocket butterscotch from Grandma, unwrapped.
Ooh. That's
I'm sure there's a lot of spicy pepper candies out there, and I would not like Fireballs. I fucking hate Fireballs.
What?
To me, Fireballs are the worst.
That's fair. Bachman, that was pretty specific. Are we working through some candy and
I'm just saying there's a whole lot of old people out there handing out butterscotch from their pocket unwrapped.
That's true. All right, let's pivot back. Willie, you want to talk about the Dr. Pepper?
I mean, listen. I'm no shill here for Dr. Pepper. What I will tell you, though, is it's pretty good. The DP fits right into all your tasty holes.
Of course.
So
here's
sorry, the holes that taste. There you go.
Okay, so here's why I don't think this is real. Now, granted, we are seeing like branding in the background here that looks like candy corn Dr. Pepper, but why isn't this real? Look at the damn bottle. Yeah, where there's actually different colored levels of liquid in there. No, they're not going to spend that kind of money to make it so that your Dr. Pepper layers into orange, yellow, and white. I don't think it's real.
It looks almost like it's a Orange Kiss soda, like an orange soda, and then they just kind of like messed with it with some filters, and the can is like an A&W root beer cream soda, and then they just photoshopped it.
And the bottom of the Dr. Pepper can, that yellow looks photoshopped too. Now, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this actually exists. I have done literally zero due diligence to see whether this was real. I saw a picture on the internet I thought was funny, and I shared it with my friends, and I'm pretty sure I said in there, I don't know if this is real.
Yeah, you did.
I don't remember that part. But you know what I do know is real, and I did do my due diligence on doing? The new Game Fuel that's out.
All right.
There's two varieties. You got reddish and purplish.
Reddish and purplish?
Reddish and purple.
Is that the flavor or the name?
That's what I said.
Fair.
My due diligence is that I tasted both of them, and they taste like Mountain Dew flavors. Good.
All right.
Oh, and just to clarify, the Dr. Pepper candy corn is fake.
Aha! We called it.
Listen, I'm sure there's candy corn soda out there somewhere. Just not made by Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, they're probably someone's made it.
There's baking soda. There's got to be candy corn soda.
Here's candy corn cream soda, a recipe, and looks like Jones Soda may have one.
I was gonna say whatever Jones that company is that makes the weird. It's like Jones Soda. They got like a Ben and Jerry's level of weird flavors for their sodas. So yeah,
they got a s'mores one on special right now.
Ooh,
a s'mores soda? What?
Sold out.
Chocolate and marshmallow soda.
Don't do that, guys. Just don't do it. Just go make s'mores. You don't need it in a soda form.
I mean, I don't disagree.
It's probably more enjoyable as a s'more anyway.
Don't tell me what I don't need. I might like it.
I'm telling you, it's probably not worth it. It's probably won't taste as good, be worthless, and the only thing you got is a 5-cent or possibly 10-cent, depending upon your state, bottle that you can return.
Fair.
You're welcome.
What? For what? I said fair.
You're the one
thank
that
you.
said. Can't have nothing in here.
Nope. This is why we can't have nice things. It's almost time for the airing of grievances. Let's Festivus for the rest of us.
I got a lot of problems with people. And you're going to hear
I got a lot
about
of
it.
problems with you people.
Oh, I got a lot of
You're going
problems.
to hear about it.
You know?
Oh no, you're gonna have a problem with me because I'm gonna air all my problems that I don't have with you guys, but for everyone else. But you're gonna be the ones to hear it.
But-
Oh God!
But remember, I gave you that producer credit for the show, but not the executive producer credit, so I control the mute button.
Oh, is that what that means?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I did not
It
read
do.
the fine.
See, now he's muted. That was just to prove I could. I won't do it again, I promise you.
That happens. I don't care.
That's not the purpose of it. I only did it for comedic effect. I don't want our show to be one where we're like, stop saying that, mute. Just say what you want.
Chris,
Well-
I don't think you have to be worried about that because I don't foresee you ever doing that.
I might go mad with power.
Sure. You know what? Sure. Mad with power.
Our tyrannical producer.
That's like saying I'd go mad with power. I mean, we know I wouldn't go mad with power, right? Right?
Sure.
Right.
I'm not testing that theory.
Just go with it.
Previous Willie lore, if you remember what I've said, if I woke up with Superman powers tomorrow morning.
You're on the list.
And
Probably.
that was a callback.
All right, if the probability of me waking up with Superman powers, yes, then I'm on the list. Go for it.
No, I was saying your Superman powered Willie would be like, you're on the list.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. I had a whole thing just fly by my head, like what I would do.
Yep.
I'm scared.
You should be.
Yeah, I know. I am.
I'm still
Sorry,
hoping
let me get
one of
lost in
these days they'll-
daydreams.
Just hoping one of these days they'll make a sequel to Brightburn.
Starring Willie.
I just want to see what that kid would do with them superpowers once he became a teenager.
It's going to
I
be
wanna
called
see-
Wilburn.
I want to see their Aquaman.
Oh, the
what I
Aquaman
want.
from that world?
No, because it's a bunch of, because they had other people they said that are similar to DC people, and I thought they had one that was like Aquaman, wasn't it?
No, in Brightburn there was nothing. It was
I
just
thought
the
there was
one
like
kid.
something at the very. I know, but I thought at the very end there were like other things were like coming up too, or
I
something.
think they were showing
thought.
other stuff was happening in the world, but I don't know
Well,
if
yeah.
they specifically referenced another person with superpowers.
I
I
kind
thought
of
they
assumed that he would just turn into Homelander, basically.
It could be.
But why? He doesn't have to hold back. Homelander has to kind of hold back.
Let me rephrase
Yeah.
what Homelander's kind of changing himself into as the series has
Yeah,
progressed.
yeah.
Fair enough. I am
Yeah.
still not caught up, so that is
Oh,
more
man.
than fair to say.
Yeah.
You should catch up. Season 4 was fun.
I'm still on season 3 of What We Do in the Shadows. I'm working. I'm
And
chugging.
they're on the final
Forward
season.
Momentum. That doesn't tell me what number that is.
6.
Okay.
So you're halfway there. I
Forward momentum. Chug a chug a chug.
think I've still only seen the first 2 seasons, maybe 3.
You're all fired. Go.
Can I ask
immediately.
one question? Does Jackie Daytona only happen in one episode?
One episode.
Human bartender.
Regular human bartender.
Okay, because you kept bringing it up, and I thought it might have been more than that. So I was like, I assume he might be coming back up.
No, only once. And it makes me sad because Jim the Vampire has only appeared once.
No, he is busy, in all fairness.
That show, man, they pull some crazy guests, though. You're just like, how the hell did they end up on here? What was it? I read in an interview somewhere Dave Bautista's like, I love the show. He goes, tell him I would do it for free. I want to do it. And his agent's like, never say something like that. And then he ended up on What We Do in the Shadows.
Nice.
To be fair, his manager's right.
Yes.
Don't ever say
Oh.
that because they'll listen. I'm like, well, you said
You can
do it
say
for free,
they
so that's
still have to
the
pay you at least
bar.
scale. Like he has his SAG card. They have to pay him scale legally.
It's true. Wish they paid us scale legally.
Oh, no doubt. I would love working for scale.
Scale to what?
To the basic payment that you make in Hollywood. Scale for their union.
No,
Pretty
I meant
sure
for
it's
what
more
Chris
than-
said about us.
Oh,
Some podcast that makes money.
Oh.
But not Joe
That'd be
Rogan
nice.
because he's a douchebag.
But it makes money.
How about some Mark
That's
Maron
true.
money? I'll take some
Yeah,
money.
Mark Maron or some Kevin Smith money, like guys who I feel like aren't.
Take some
making
Two
an
Bears in a
act.
Cave money.
Yeah. Let's go with that.
Chris, I believe we can make a thing called Two Bears in a Cave. Wink, wink.
I'm not being the cave.
Oh, we need a cave, and there's 3 of us.
I just
and
said
there's
not
only
it.
2 of us who are bears. You figure out who the cave is.
I just said not it. So
Chris,
I said
you
not
put your
it
hand
first.
down. It's obviously him.
I'm just making sure it's not me.
We're big and we're hairy. He's the cave.
No, I'm getting pretty furry here.
No, don't.
I thought Willie was leaning forward.
Oh no! I'm just readjusting. Sitting.
For those on-
he's getting closer to the
I
camera.
thought you were talking to him.
For those
talking
on
to him for a second. I was like,
for those on audio that are unaware, we do record
He was
this.
terrified.
We record this as a video show. You can find it at youtube.com/Gonna Geek after the fact. But as we were saying these things, and Willie's talking about, and people are talking about being hairy and furry, Willie starts leaning forward towards the camera with an intent look on his face. And I didn't know what was about to happen, but I was afraid his shirt was coming off. So
No,
that's
no.
why I was telling him, don't.
I'm not gonna Burt Kreischer you here. I'm just readjusting in my seat. Just readjusting in my seat. That's all. Nothing to worry about. Nothing to see. The shirt stays on. We're okay, everybody. No
We're all
worries.
good. We're all good.
Continue on
All right,
and
all right.
prevail as you were.
We're going to continue on then. We're going to go and talk our news of the week. Woo!
Live from the ATGN studios on the internet, it's the news of the week.
Welcome to the news of the week. It is that part of the show where we run down what is in our minds the most interesting, geeky, and or nerdy news to have popped up here in the last week or so, and share it with you fine folks watching live or listening at a later date. And what I am going to do this week is I'm going to steal my own segment from another podcast that I haven't done in forever. If I'd planned this out better than 10 minutes before the show, I would have stolen the bump out of Steven's directory folder there. But I'm bringing back Chris Taps That App. For those that are unaware of the Gonna Geek show, this was a segment where I found a cool app on iOS, Android, Windows, whatever it was, and I would share it with our fine audience of people. And I found one today that I started playing with after work wrapped up that I wanted to talk to you guys about. So I have to ask, and we won't take it political, but have you noticed the large exodus of people from the old bird site, as we'll call it, in the recent past few months?
I saw the big one today.
Stephen King.
Oh
Gone.
yeah.
Yeah.
The man himself, the constant writer, has left the Bird app. I think
So
it's
there-
been, 7 years?
Yeah, there are a lot of people that are leaving the Bird app. We're not going to get into their motivations because that's not what the show is, because a lot of it is politically motivated. Others are leaving because if you're around by November 15th, they've said you can no longer opt out of having your tweets used to train their AI product, which I don't really care for myself. So that's why I've been leaving and deleting things. But there are other options. People are out there searching for what will be the new old Bird app, for lack of a better term. There's people playing around with Threads, people playing on Mastodon, people playing on Blue Sky. Blue Sky's seen a big surge in the last week. Now, to clarify, they had 1 million people sign up in the last week, which is awesome. And people are getting real hyped about it. But you're also getting people going, this is huge. For some context here, Threads gets 1 million a day right now. This is not me saying it's not a good thing that people are signing up for Blue Sky, but let's
it's
give
not
some
huge
context on
number.
things.
Yeah.
That 1 million is an awesome number for them, but that's daily happening on a different app. Now, the difference is Blue Sky is not owned by a billionaire, whereas Threads is. So some people find some solace in that. But the problem we run into is I've got all these different social media apps that I could be signing up for to try and do a land grab on my name and make sure no one else uses it, to try and figure out where my friends are going. Half my friends on Twitter went to Threads, half of them went to Blue Sky, and some of them were also posting on Mastodon. Well, what do I do about it? Well, I actually found an app today It is free right now on iOS and Android. I assume they'll probably shift it to a subscription model at some point in time, but honestly, if they do, I'm kind of okay with it as long as the features continue working. And I will screen share and we can talk about this a little bit. And I've even got it working on my Mac so I can show you guys that app. It is a little app called Open Vibe. You can find it at openvibe.social. They brand themselves as a town square for open social media, i.e. those social media platforms that have an openly accessible API that they can plug into and pull information. So what do? Well, it's an app on iOS, Android, that basically allows you to consolidate all of your accounts into one. So if you have a Blue Sky account, a Threads account, a Mastodon account, whatever a Nostr account is, you can sign into all of them in the Open Vibe app, and it consolidates it all into one central timeline. So I would see Bachman posted something on Threads 2 minutes ago. Right below that, 3 minutes ago, could have been Willie posting something on Blue Sky that I thought was interesting. I can reply to their posts. I can like those comments. I can also post to all of my social networks directly from the Open Vibe app,
That's the one I've been missing.
Including all of them at once. So for instance, I was promoting the show tonight and I went on the Open Vibe app and I posted on Mastodon, Blue Sky, and Threads all at the same time that the All Things Good and Nerdy podcast was returning tonight. And all 3 posts showed up on there. Now, one thing to keep in mind is the Threads API is a bit limited right now, so it doesn't do everything that the other sites do, but Meta/Facebook is continuing to build it up and make it accessible to folks. But yeah, this is an app that kind of reminds you of what the old Pigeon or Trillion instant messenger app was back in the day, where you could consolidate everything into one. And it allows me to have one central timeline of all of my friends, regardless of the social media platform that they're on. And I'm kind of digging it. It is free right now. The biggest thing right now is the cross posting everywhere at once. I've enjoyed the fact that I don't have to copy a post and paste into 3 different windows when I'm trying to promote a podcast that evening or something like that.
You said it's free as of now. Does that mean they have?
So I hopped onto their Discord and there was a comment the fact that right now it is free. You're welcome to donate to support them, but as things take off and they offer more features, there was talk that it would become similar to other things where it'd be a subscription or maybe a one-time fee. I think they specifically said subscription on the Discord to be able to keep using it. But the thing is, depending on the price and what it was, if I can consolidate everything into one app and be able to do everything from there, I don't know that I would necessarily have a problem with subscribing and funding developers to continue keeping that app running. Subscription services for an app aren't necessarily a bad thing because they keep them running. You look like you have concerns, though, Willie.
Yeah. So does that mean? I guess if they are going to go to subscriptions, then does that mean it's going to be ad free? Because if I pay a subscription, I want to see no ads.
So
and
here's
if they're getting ads free, does that mean that the ad revenue from the Blue Sky
has no ads currently.
Threads, but you get what I mean, like
So you're bringing up an interesting point here. This is especially interesting because Meta has announced that they plan to start doing limited advertising on Threads starting in 2025, and people are like, "Oh my God, I'm going to leave!" And I was like, "Well, that's how they make money on these platforms. Remember, it used to be that way on the old Bird app. It's been that way on other platforms too. The question is when it gets out of control for that." So part of the reason why the third-party Twitter apps went away is because with API access, you weren't served ads by Twitter. And that's the same thing that happened with Reddit similarly, is that, hey, people are using this API access to get Reddit content, and we aren't able to serve ads to them. My guess is we'll find some kind of limitation or process that goes in place for Meta or Blue Sky to be like, okay, you want the API access to be able to pull this stuff. We need to be able to advertise on our end, and maybe part of the subscription fee goes toward them paying for use of an API that would be ad free or something like that. I'm not necessarily opposed to that idea. It's more just wait and see. My understanding is that Open Vibe, it's relatively new from what I've been looking into. People just started talking about it in my social sphere online today, so I checked it out, but it doesn't seem like the app has been around for very long, and the Threads integration is like 3 weeks old at this point in time. So predominantly before it was Blue Sky and Mastodon. I'm pretty sure they're opening up a lot more users by having Threads access there, because Threads has what, like 250 million users to it or something like that.
Well, yeah, because basically if you had an Instagram account, you got a Threads account. Whether
You had to activate it.
Yeah, but I mean, they were all built, so they're all
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
It still keeps making me try to sign up for it. I'm like, no, I don't want Threads. I just want to look at Reels. And I'm scrolling through like, hey, that looks interesting. What's this thing saying? Let me click on it. You can only see this if you download Threads. Like,
Right.
I guess I ain't seeing this. Back out. Let me scroll some more.
So
But, yeah.
I said I would show it. Now, what you're seeing here is I run a Mac to do this show. So what that means is a lot of iOS and iPad OS apps on an M1 Mac, you can run them natively on Macintosh. There's not a Mac app for OpenVibe yet. And the biggest thing that is problematic is you can't access OpenVibe via like a website or something like that where you would log in and be able to have that stuff. It's only an app on iOS or Android at this point in time, which is kind of a pain for folks on computers, but you can sort of get around it on a Mac because you just run the tablet app. But it is my consolidated feed here, and like you can see that Andy has retweeted Blue Sky's announcement an hour ago that over 1 billion people have joined Blue Sky.
A million,
excuse me, in the last day. And then you can see where things are consolidated in. You can see next to a name what social media platform it's coming from. So this person posted from Blue Sky. This is me posting about our podcast, announcing it from Blue Sky. But you can see here's where I posted on Mastodon, and it posted at the same time. Post from Sean Ross Sapp on Blue Sky. Blue Sky tends to dominate the feed is the thing I've noticed right now. So like I'm not getting as much Threads content in there. And maybe that's part of their API limitation and things like that. But this is your default view here is just a timeline of all of your consolidated posts across the platforms you have connected. But what you can do is have different feeds. There's a trending feed, which is a combination of Mastodon and Threads that are trending topics. But then also when you use Blue Sky, you can create custom feeds or you can choose other people's custom feeds. So for instance, I have a pro wrestling feed here that someone had published that is pulling that same feed that I have linked to on my Blue Sky account and pulling it into the app, which I thought was pretty cool. There's the ability to search, and you can dictate which of the networks you want to search, all of them, or in my case, the 3 I've got signed up, Mastodon, Blue Sky, and Threads. There is the ability to see your notifications, and you're not really getting anything fun here. I apologize, guys. I'm pretty boring.
I like what that cat had to say.
Yeah. And then your overview, it'll show you, here's the 3 accounts you have linked. Here's the follower count on them. Now, the Threads API is still in development. So like I can't see how many I'm following by the API, but some of that stuff will get built out. And then they've got suggestions for places of people to add and stuff like that. But this, to me, kind of feels like a nice first step for being able to have everything in one place. Because first world problem here, guys, is Threads. I have a lot of fun talking pro wrestling with a lot of people because that's where that community seemed to have shifted to for me. But on Blue Sky, we're seeing a lot of the wrestlers themselves sign up and start posting on Blue Sky. And I've started to see more interesting tech stories and stuff like that on Blue Sky. So what this means is using the OpenVibe app, I pull all of it into one feed. I can view it all in one place, reply and comment in one place versus juggling 2 or 3 different apps and replying in different apps and stuff like that. So like I said, total first world problem being solved here, but it is pretty cool. And it is something that others can do as well because of the open APIs that these platforms are built upon. So I don't think OpenVibe is the first, nor will they be the last to plug into these APIs to put information together. And this really does take me back to the old Twitter days where the official Twitter app was hot garbage and everyone had a third-party app of some kind that was the preferred way to do things.
Yeah.
That did a better job of doing things. Like retweets and stuff were first handled best in those apps, not in the official Twitter app or on the website. It was by using like Tweetbot and Echo Phone and stuff like that. So I'm kind of enjoying this trip down memory lane, for lack of a better term, as we go back to what feels like the old way of doing things.
As I think at one point with TweetDeck, I had like all my social media on it, and I had like 3 different Twitter accounts. and it all worked perfectly. And then, Twitter
TweetDeck was great
killed
for managing podcast accounts for things like that. Like when you wanted to promote, and I could be like, okay, we're doing an episode of Starling Tribune, so I need to post that from my account, the Gonna Geek account, and the Starling Tribune account. And I could just hit 3 buttons, write the post, and hit send, and it was awesome and easy.
Yeah,
and then
that's back when I had the CMYK podcast. Yep.
Yeah, I think TweetBot existed because Twitter then bought it. Then it got put behind a paywall, and I think now it might have been destroyed. I can't remember.
So there's a thing everyone seems to be not seeing. Like you're looking past it, but you're not looking at it. And me being an agent of chaos as I am,
all right,
let's stay on X and let's make it weird. Let's just start typing in. Let's be the infinite amount of monkeys with the infinite amount of time, just typing every real weird thing into it. So, I mean, we could go back in the past and get great things, such as like from Jaden Smith, where he said the best line ever of, how can mirrors be real if our eyes aren't real?
Dear God.
Agent of chaos, motherfucker.
So one thing to keep in mind when it comes to internet history and stuff like that is a lot of people, as they have left Twitter, have deleted their accounts or shifted them to private. So a lot of that stuff's not easily viewable anymore. And I don't know that history is really going to be there. And honestly,
that's good.
I haven't actively been a Twitter user in quite a while because it just got gross. You would say something like nice to someone else, or you would just have a debate over something, and then the comments would turn to shit. And then 20,000 porn bots would descend upon you. And you're like, I can't tell what's going on. I can't talk to people here because it all just gets blown out by the noise. And then if you didn't pay for your little blue check mark, everything you said was de-emphasized. And anyone who paid to play the game was seen over you when you were trying to interact with folks. So it was just kind of like, it's not the place for me to be. And it has, every place has echo chambers of some kind, but there's some really gross comments that seem to have become the norm on Twitter now. And I just don't really want to be there personally because it's not fun and it's just not good anymore.
If you don't have a good reason to have that blue check mark, except for I wanted to buy it and be important, then I'm just gonna laugh at you because that's pretty funny.
Look, it's because people wanted to be verified, but by making it pay to be verified, it took all meaning away.
Yeah.
And I'm also the new app's name when you first said it, I got it confused with another app that I know off the top of my head is called LoveSense.
Yes.
Different app.
I
got it confused. What is with the name? Can we keep vibe out of that? Can we keep vibe out of it?
It's tough. It's tough to figure out name for apps and stuff like that anymore, man. I don't know what to tell you in that regard.
A remote usage adult app. I thought that's what you were talking about at first, and I was very confused for a second.
That's what we're going to talk about on this podcast next week is internet-enabled vibrators.
Why do you think I can't sit still for this whole time?
Look, you saw that episode of It's Always Sunny where Frank takes on the Russians at chess, right? That's all we need to know.
Is that are you just making that up, or is that a real thing?
That's a real one from the last season.
I mean, you could just say it's real, and I just believe.
No, they used an internet-enabled vibrator up his butt to be able to tell him what to do in chess to beat the Russians.
Wait, no, that actually happened though, didn't it?
I don't know if it actually happened or not.
I think that happened in real life.
The episode of Always Sunny is real.
Well, I believe you, but I think it actually happened in real life as well. I thought I saw that on YouTube. I could be wrong on that. I don't know. I just thought it was funny.
It could be as real as that Dr. Pepper we talked about. Who knows?
Yeah. Yeah, if they make it a subtle, just sweet taste that had a hint of candy corn, it wouldn't be that bad. Candy corn isn't bad. It just gets old real fast. You just have to stop till before it gets to that point. Then you're like, all right, next year I'll see you.
Fair enough.
Just don't do it till it's like, bleh.
But what else are you going to be seeing, Willie? If I'm reading this news right, there was something you just saw that you wanted to talk about.
Let me just get. I had a whole script written down here. Let me just go up to it right quick. And
I'm sorry, did I ruin your script?
no. You segued me to it to talk about my personal favorite character from RGG Studios' Like a Dragon series. He's coming back and he's losing his memory and having a journey in paradise. That's right, Like a Dragon, Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii. It's a game coming out February 21st, 2025. You're going to be playing as Goro Majima again for the first time since, well, if you don't count that little small segment in Yakuza 2, which was like a little side thing that wasn't really part of it, since Yakuza 0, where he was one half of the main characters to play as. He finds himself with no memory of who he is and must piece together what he was doing in Hawaii. And what better way than doing it than becoming a pirate?
Yarg.
Because,
Everybody likes
pirate Yakuza in Hawaii. Yeah.
I mean, who doesn't love a pirate?
Using the Dragon Engine with its perfect amount of physics jank, I have played since on the Yakuza 6 and also Yakuza Kiwami 2 and also the Judgment and Lost Judgment. I believe they all use the Dragon Engine, which is the physics engine for the game, and it has the perfect amount of jank. Perfect. Like, weird things happen, but it's all in your favor, and it looks cool and fun. Or funny. So it's never actually bad. It's just like, I can't believe I just kicked that guy for like 20 feet as he skidded across his face. That was hilarious. It's just funny. Majima will fight his way through other pirates on land and on the sea, because we're introducing ship battles in this entry. Melee combat is using two styles to switch from. The Mad Dog style, which is Majima's main style from the previous games, and also the Sea Dog style to add some daringly, dastardly naval noggin knocking. I wrote that last part. I'm proud of it.
That was very Stan Lee-ish.
Thank you. Mini games are coming back with new and revamped favorites. One of my favorites is coming back from Yakuza Like a Dragon, which is 7th in the entry, which is kart racing. I am looking forward to that. And they're also bringing back the, I think it was pizza delivery from the last game as well. The spin-off is already looking like it will live up to the greatness the studio has released before it.
So you're excited, yes?
Yar!
Yar.
Yarg. When's it supposed to drop?
February 21st, 2025. So just a few months from now.
Well, we know what Willie's going to be
Yakuza.
talking about in about 4 months as he plays Yakuza every day for multiple
There
hours.
are several
For
trailers
all the
out.
Yakuzas.
Some basic trailers, some combat trailers. There's some trailers on the naval combat. This is a spin-off, and it's going to be going back to the 3D open world beat 'em up style of that they usually keep for their spin-offs, since the main series has gone to turn-based RPGs. So this is nice. Go back to form kind of game like they do with their spin-offs, and I'm all here for it.
Nice.
Any questions for this pirate mastery in Hawaii?
Is it the same kind of gameplay style as the last Like a Dragon game, or does it seem...
No, because it's not a turn-based RPG. It's a 3D open world beat 'em up.
Gotcha.
And between us girls here, it's gonna be a better pirate game than what was that shitty ass pirate game? Skull and Bones.
Yeah, Skull and Bones. I've been playing
Skull and
that
Bones.
one.
Thank you. Oh, I'm sorry.
I played it because my dad wanted to play it. That's
Yeah,
why
he was
I
playing
was
with
up.
his dad.
Which is fair. But in this one, you play as a pirate Yakuza in Hawaii, not as a boat.
I'm a sexy boat, I'll have you know.
Bodie
I-
McBoatface.
Doubt it, but sure.
Man, you ain't seen the curves I got on the sea.
Listen, the things I would do to your hull, you don't even want to believe.
Did you say hull or hole?
I said hull.
Hole.
I might have said it with some Hall.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. I was confused and scared. And
You won't just have some barnacles stuck to you. I can tell you that much.
gross. That's my
Oh,
fault.
you get. Oh,
I
don't
enabled
bring
this.
me to nautical terms, and I don't expect me to not have some fun with it.
I'm sorry, everyone. I enabled this. It's
your fault.
My mistake. My mistake.
And you should be having more fun with this. You're the best seaman I know.
Willie, why don't you walk the plank?
Because I ain't got one, man. What are you talking about? I ain't got
I'll do it.
Oh, wait, Chris, put it in post, me walking a plank right here. I'm walking it. See, it just works, too. Just put
Yeah,
little
make
legs
sure you go
underneath
check
me.
out the posted video on YouTube to see just if I do this or not.
Yeah.
Hey, it was his idea.
You guys trying to give me work on our podcast we do for fun.
Mm-mm.
Well, it's
I'm
because
trying to
I'm
give
only a
nobody work.
producer, not an executive producer. You don't
Oh,
expect me to do
actually-
it now, do you?
To be fair, nobody has producer credits in the credits because they're
Damn
not
it.
there.
That's fair.
Now, I will happily say executively produced by the Willie Nelson if you want.
I would prefer if it's just, some dude.
Some dude.
So,
I mean, Willie Nelson, some dude. Just take
I
out
mean,
the article.
Willie, if you want to be an executive producer /
Not
producer
really.
of the show, I'll gladly
Oh,
give you the
this
raw
show.
files so that you can put the podcast together and post it. That
Yeah,
takes
let's
it off
break
my
this
plate.
shitty laptop I have to the brink.
Yeah, why not? What's the worst?
watch
that
it
happens?
burst into flames.
Here comes the
Oh,
boom.
wait. I hear some Johnny Cash through my computer. I hurt myself. Yep, you did hurt yourself.
Mhm.
I stopped it fast for you, Chris. I
It's
stopped
fair.
it fast.
That's what I appreciate about you, Willie.
I got it going just enough for like,
All right, let's wrap up the news of the week. Mr. Bachman, what you got for us?
Oh, this one ought to be fun. So, from a Variety article by Todd Spengler, The Onion buys InfoWars in a bankruptcy auction. And I kind of liked reading how Variety had the article started. So it says InfoWars, the far-right conspiracy theory outlet driven into bankruptcy over lies founder Alex Jones spread about the Sandy Hook massacre, has a new owner, satirical news site, The Onion. And then goes to a bunch of stuff. But then what I actually found was a little more fun was Bryce P. Is it Tetrader? I think is his name. Actually did an article on The Onion about here's why I decided to buy InfoWars. It says, today we celebrate a new addition to the global Tetrahedron LLC family of brands. And let me say, I really do see it as a family. Much like family members, our brands are abstract nodes of wealth, interchangeable assets for their patriarch to absorb and discard according to the opaque whims of the market. And just like family members, our brands regard one another with mutual suspicion and malice. All told, the decision to acquire InfoWars was an easy one for global Tetrahedron executive board. So they literally, like, The Onion bought it, and they're going to make it a parody of itself, which is just awesome. Because who would have thought, like a certain someone was waiting for a certain billionaire to like buy InfoWars and let it keep being this awful bucket of misinformation, and instead The Onion buys it.
And we should clarify, The Onion owns everything from what I've been able to tell. So not just the names, but like the streaming equipment, the computers, the studios, the advertiser list, the email list, the crappy supplement business that I'm sure they're probably going to shut down.
All of it.
Everything, assuming it stands, The
Yes.
Onion owns.
Because as
So you're
Chris,
telling me The Onion is going to be the leader in dick pills and conspiracies? Holy
Yes.
shit! This means so much.
difference being it'll actually be marked as satire, like it should be, because everybody will know now that it's fake and misinformation. But as Chris was saying, there was a follow-up article from the New York Times saying that the judge has put a hold on the sale. Let's see what temporary halted the deal to basically like verify that like the bidding was done correctly, is what it seems like. So there's a court date for next week for us to find out if The Onion actually gets it. And in the New York Times article, there was a mention in here The Onion said its bid was sanctioned by the families of the victims of the mass shooting at Sandy Hook Elementary, who won the lawsuit in 2022 for $1.4 billion in defamation against Mr. Jones and his company, which is why InfoWars is bankrupt and for sale. He owes $1 billion for the lies he told. Yeah. And of course, and funnily enough, it's for him and his company, Free Speech Systems. He has freedom of speech. He can say whatever he wants. You do not have freedom from repercussions.
Whoa.
So there's no politics in this. The dude's he's in the fuck around, find out phase of things right now.
And he done found out. Yep.
And he's done found out. And good. And I had read somewhere that the Sandy Hook families had kind of signed off on the Onion's purchase, for lack of a better way of putting it. And assuming I read this article correctly, which I didn't have a chance to really go back and double check everything, it was with the thought of, hey, we sign off on them doing it, we'll vouch for them, knowing that they would not make as much money from the sale of InfoWars, but that it would be going to, not someone who's going to use it to continue to peddle real misinformation, but someone who's going to mock everything that the site did for for 20 years or whatever it was that it's been around for.
Exactly. Oh, including as well in the article, the guy from the Onion said, as for vitamins and supplements, we are halting their sale immediately. Utilitarian logic dictates that if we can extend even one CEO's life by 10 minutes, diluting these miracle elixirs for public consumption is an unethical waste. Instead, we plan to collect the entire stock of the InfoWars warehouse into a large vat and boil the contents down into a single candy bar size omnivitamin that one executive, I will not name names, may eat in order to increase their power and perhaps become immortal. So they're going to put it all in a vat, shrink it down to one pill, and then sell that to one CEO.
But it's a suppository. It's not taken orally.
Immortality. Oh, no, it's for sure a suppository.
It's a suppository.
Delivered with a 12 gauge.
You know what? I'll take the hit. Pay me. I'll take the pill.
You'll do it?
See what happens. I'll be the test subject. I might wake up tomorrow with Superman powers. Who knows?
Or you might not wake up tomorrow.
That's a possibility.
True. But yeah, it was one of those things. It's like, this is the best possible outcome.
It's absolutely hilarious. That's the key thing on it. Like, I woke up this morning and I was making my coffee while I was in the kitchen while the coffee was brewing. I was scrolling through the internet and I saw Onion buys InfoWars. I'm like, this has got to be bullshit. I don't have time to dig into this.
Yeah.
And like, my wife comes down before she goes to work. She's like, did you see the Onion bought InfoWars? I'm like, wait, that's real?
Yeah. The company.
Onion? Hold on.
Yeah. The company that wrote all these fake articles is buying a fake news site. How awesome is that?
Yeah.
So is there any part of this that is real? I don't know.
None of it's real.
It was hilarious. I'm curious to see whether it stands up after this court case goes through or whatnot. But
depending, because if it was an auction, I mean, I'm not sure how, like, what the legalities are of that when you're going through a bankruptcy. So, and it may be something where just not enough information was made public during the bidding, and so there may have to be more bidding,
or they may have to pay more money. Who knows?
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know.
Or match any other bidders.
The sheer hilarity of it has sustained me for today, and I needed it. And it was a good laugh, and I've enjoyed it. Hey, and Onion, if you want to buy us, we'll be a lot cheaper.
Well, you talked about one of the things that they're buying. It says, Judge Lopez cited concerns about a lack of transparency in the secret bidding process and a need to clarify which assets the winners are buying. This is, again, from the New York Times article. One of the assets in dispute is Mr. Jones's account on X. So you would actually own Alex Jones's X account, formerly known as Twitter.
Well, is it InfoWars one or is it his personal one, I wonder?
Well, it says it's his account, so maybe he made his, like, at Alex Jones InfoWars or some shit.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Man, that's too much power. I can't come up with crazier stuff than he did. What
it's
am I going to do?
Frogs. The water is turning the frogs gay, Willie.
Yeah, we know.
This is why the Onion buys or pays for writers, because these motherfuckers are in for some serious work if they have to make up shit more ridiculous than the shit that was on InfoWars.
You're not wrong, man.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
Jesus Christ.
Some writers out there doing some hardcore drugs right now to loosen up their minds. Getting that Steve Ditko area of what does a magical realm look like? I'm gonna draw this shit.
Free your mind.
And your ass will follow.
Wait, what? I'm concerned now. And also intrigued.
There you go. But yeah, just a little something I thought was kind of interesting, and it'll be interesting to see what happens with it. But yeah, not who we thought was going to buy InfoWars, I'll tell you that much.
Well, that does wrap up our news of the week for our return episode. As we finish up our triumphant return, though, a friendly reminder, we like to wrap this show up with a little bit called What I'm Into. It's our chance to share with the audience just what kind of geeky and nerdy things we've been getting into, because, hey, you guys, listener, you may want to check them out as well. And I will start off with things because I'll forget if I don't start, is basically what it comes down to. Is I have been playing the new Dragon Age game, Dragon Age Veilguard, on Xbox. My wife has already beaten it, so she is much further ahead than I am.
Nice.
It feels more like traditional BioWare type RPGs, but it feels not as deep story-wise as what you'd seen in some. Maybe I just haven't gotten deep into the story yet, but it feels like the depth that we had in the past Dragon Age games and the Mass Effect games. It's not quite the same yet. I don't know. It's not bad, just a little different, but it does give me cautious optimism for Mass Effect 5, because one of the things that came out of Dragon Age Veilguard is they said, hey, we have no plans for DLC. We have pivoted the entire team to working on Mass Effect 5. So it is coming, Mass Effect 5. And
sure,
there were stories that if Dragon Age Veilguard had not done well, that might mean that Mass Effect 5 was not happening. So I was intrigued to play the game, and I was very happy when I started playing the game that it was good, and that other people thought so too, because those were all positive signs for Mass Effect 5. And for those unaware, Mass Effect is one of my favorite game franchises of all time. I love the games a ton, and I really want the fifth one to be good. All we've really gotten is a teaser so far. And then for N7 Day a week ago as we record this, they said, hey guys, don't expect much because we're in the middle of working on Dragon Age stuff. But they did do free cosmetics in Dragon Age Veilguard that basically gave your character N7 armor, which was pretty cool.
Was there a Dragon Age 4?
There was Origins, Inquisition 2, and...
No, sorry. Mass Effect 4.
Andromeda.
That's
Mass Effect
Andromeda. There's no 4. There can't be
but
5.
That was effectively 4.
I'm messing with you.
Yeah.
That was 4? I thought
it's
it was
not called
a side
Cream,
thing.
Called Cream 5. Damn it.
Fair enough.
And then, since I'm on the Mass Effect thread of things, and this is going to tie into threads, ironically, I realized as I said that, I've really enjoyed following on threads. There's a user at Melissa Barron Writes, and they're a writer and other things like that, but they have recounted their tale playing the Mass Effect trilogy from the very start to end, having never played it before on threads, describing why they did things they did, their reactions, their thoughts and feelings as to what happened. And it was very much an enjoyable viewing experience as someone who has played the game multiple times, to then see someone get to experience it for the first time and then have them have the same kind of, oh my God, what the hell did I just do reactions that I had many years ago when I did it for the first time. So I greatly enjoyed following along. I knew how the story would unfold, but I didn't know the choices that they would make. And that made it really fun for me to read all of their posts. They have now since beaten all 3 games, all the DLC. I'm not sure if they're going to play Andromeda or not, but I had seen on there today, someone said, hey, did you see the trailer for the 5th game? She's like, wait, there's a trailer? And was really excited about it. So I'm hoping that she has a chance to talk about having seen that. It's like a minute-long trailer that we got a year ago, but I could see where if you just beat the trilogy, that trailer would be pretty cool to see at this point in time when you think the story's completed and done. It's the other stuff I've been getting into. Having to be productive as an adult, which sucks, doing adulting, house cleaning, all that stuff. Caught up on What We Do in the Shadows just this evening, since I think there's only like 3 episodes left before the series wraps, and it is still very good. I get them wanting to end while they're on top, and it bums me out, but I support the decision.
It's the way to do it. Nobody wants to be lost.
Ain't that the truth? I'm trying to think of other stuff I've been getting into, and it all just kind of escapes me.
No?
I don't know, Bachman, what you been getting into?
Let's see. So watching stuff. We're now halfway through the second season of Veronica Mars. We also, because it was only an additional $4 for the Halloween season into the holidays, I added Max onto our Disney Plus Hulu subscription. And so we did like the 31 Halloween movies or 31 scary movies during the month of October again. So that was awesome. And then, yeah, watching Veronica Mars on Disney. And then because we added Max back, we've started the second season of House of Dragons. Because we'd watched the whole first season, but we hadn't watched any of the second season yet. And then, yeah, prepping for Christmas. Dealing with, all the crazy shit at work, which has, kept me super busy. Because of that, I've only played a little bit of one game. I did do the storyline mode through Space Marine 2, which was fantastic. But I haven't really put any time into the multiplayer, which seems to be what everybody else loves. Also because they were having like crashing issues the first couple of weeks. Like I would log in, I would do half of a multiplayer mission, and then it would crash, and you'd get no credit for it. And so I was like, yeah, this is not fun right now. So instead of that, after I got caught up on a couple other projects, what I did dive back into was, of course, No Man's Sky, because that's where I like to live and it's relaxing. And for N7 Day, they brought back an expedition they'd done before, and it is still currently live. So if you're playing a new playthrough on No Man's Sky, you can go do the expedition now to unlock the Normandy as one of your frigates again. So I'm doing that now on my new PlayStation 5 account. Playthrough on my the PS5 version of No Man's Sky, because I have it on the PS4 version, but I do not have Normandy on this playthrough. So I'm like about halfway through that expedition now to get that unlocked. And yeah, No Man's Sky just keeps kicking ass, being like the best game for doing free updates ever. Hello Games is awesome. And I finally I noticed the other day, because on the PS5 they have the little hour counter now. I cracked 200 hours on PS5 for No Man's Sky, which is a lot of time, like just flying around and mining and like talking to aliens.
Damn, that is a lot.
Yeah, I love it. Other than that, I've been doing a little bit of painting. I have a current miniature I'm painting and one I just finished, and I can't show either because one is for the giveaway. So I have finished the giveaway for a Nordic painter who won a free custom his choice of Space Marine or Tyranid on my Instagram, because I passed 1,000 followers. He chose a Space Marine, and I have painted it to match his custom Space Marine chapter. Ooh. So it matches his armor color, his armor choices, the way he has everything set up. And he's seen pictures of it, and he signed off on it saying it's good to go. So that thing is waiting to be mailed out. I'm just waiting to get his address back. So I won't show that on camera because I'm not showing it to anybody until he sees it. So he gets to see it first. So I've already taken a bunch of pictures. I still need to put it up on the little Lazy Susan and get like a video of it rotating. But that one's done. And I have another one I'm working on for someone for Christmas. So I won't say who that is. But I painted about half of it, and it's type
you,
of,
Willie. It's you.
It's a Pokemon. I'm painting a Gengar. But no, it's a figure that I've never. It's a type of miniature I've never painted before, so that's been fun because it's like, oh, these types are different than what I've been painting. I'll just say that, and it was a fun one to do because, especially doing a one-off, like it was so nice to do that one Space Marine for the contest winner, because I'm not trying to duplicate. I'm not trying to do 10 of them, 50 of them, 2,000 points of an army of them. I'm painting this one guy and then put it in the mail. And so I probably put about 30 hours into painting it, maybe 35. So like I painted the shit out of this Space Marine. Like It is head to toe done in sub-assembly with the arm and flamethrower removed. So like even like the in-between part that once I was glued on, like if you were to take his arm off, you would see that the inside of his rib cage is painted to match the rest of him. Like it's all painted. There was no area that I just like glued it together and said, nah, you can't see it. I ain't painting it. Painted the whole motherfucker. It looks great. And then, yeah, I've been getting further and further into Age of Sigmar for the World of Warcraft. So I've actually fired up and stoked because I realized we had a local library here that's really close to our house in Meridian. And so me and the wife went down and we got library cards. And this was big. Put each other on our library account so we can pick up and drop off books for each other. Now, I've been married before, but I never had anybody on my library card before. This is a big deal. And so, yeah, picked up a couple of books, read through some a couple of graphic novels, which is awesome. Found out that you can order anything now through our county. And so the Boise Main Public Library has a bunch of Warhammer codexes. So I can now like request the $50 codexes and read them and then just give them back to the library without having to buy them. So it was kind of cool to check out an army like the Tyranids, which I've been looking at, without having to buy the damn thing. So that was really fun. And then as I've been, tearing through all these other books, I'm down to I have currently 3 books that I'm reading, where it was like 7 or 8. I've been chopping them off down the list because once I finish the other 2, I have finally decided to there's some holes in my geek cred, and I've decided to take one of them down and kill it and fill that hole. So I picked me up a copy of Frank Herbert's Dune. And so I've never actually read Dune. And so this one's first, and then following this, I'm going to read The Lord of the Rings, because I've never read that either. I've read The Hobbit like 8 times. I've never read The Lord of the Rings. So tackling Dune first, and then Lord of the Rings.
I've tried to read The Lord of the Rings. It's just yeah. No,
it's tough. I've tried it like 3 times. Tough. And then, lots of Age of Sigmar stuff. So, like I was showing Chris and Willie in the pre-show, I picked up the core book for the first edition because somebody had it on eBay for $16. These are like $50, $65 books. I was like, well, for $16, I'm going to grab it because this is like the first appearance of Stormcast. Like that's when they came out. I also finally got delivery of a Kickstarter, which I was stoked about. Trying to not move it too much because it has actual like paint in it right now. But I got my paint palette from Game Envy, and I got the Ninjon edition. There's a dry brush palette over there too that says Ninjon on it. Came with a nice little brush, and this it's got, what do they call them? Palette shields. So you put the piece of paper down on top of the thing, and then you drop they're copperish bronze like corner pieces to hold your paper in place, and they're antifungal. So I've been using it for about 2-3 weeks now. Not a hint of mold anywhere, like the one I bought from Amazon, where like 3-4 days into using that thing, it had mold growing in it. This one, the sponge seems to be holding up, no mold. I'm only using distilled water in it too, which I think that's supposed to help. And then the last thing was, you guys have like a health and wellness program at your work where like, oh, hey, we'll like do this for you if you walk or do your, physical every year.
Not currently, no.
Okay. So I've had them before. Usually they're like just atrocious. Usually it's way too difficult. You can't get anything from it. The stuff you can get is garbage. Nobody wants it. The city of Nampa actually has a freaking great one. And you can directly connect your Fitbit into your account. So now all my steps I take all the time go into my account. And every month, if you do 100,000, 200,000, 300,000 steps, you get 1,000 points for each. So that's 3,000 points. You take those 2 zeros off, and that equates to $30. So you could turn those 3,000 points into a $30 gift certificate from Amazon.
Nice.
So you can basically buy anything. So found out about the program, got it all set up, was really stoked about it. And in the mail the other day, I got my first Warcry warband. That was a $62 set, the Tarantulas Brood, and I paid nothing for this because I bought it with Amazon gift cards from my work.
Nice. And
so this is maybe one of my favorite things ever because I basically walked for toys.
That's not a bad thing.
Yeah, my work is making me healthier. I'm 1 pound away from the goal weight that I had when I started this job. I've lost almost 15 pounds. So I'm healthier. I'm walking anywhere between 4 and 6 miles a day at work. So 4 days a week. And then, I get to turn around and convert those steps into gift cards. And the website we have is awesome. Like you can get electronics, you can get sports stuff, all sorts of stuff. Or they have like 1,000 different gift cards. You can get Cabela's or Red Robin or Red Lobster. Or
Chris, did you hear this guy? I had to walk both ways uphill to play with my toys.
In the snow.
That was high school. In high school, to go to martial arts class, I had to walk uphill both ways in the snow. It's true.
How is that geographically possible?
Easy. Here's a hill. My house is over here. You go up the hill, you go back down the hill, and that's where the dojo was. So you got to walk up a hill both ways. It's very simple. And there was a creepy cemetery at the top of the hill with old Jewish headstones that they couldn't move.
Ooh,
from like the 1800s, because it was in Colorado, so like it was old. Yeah, it was weird. Some nights walking back late from the dojo and like walking down the backside of the hill towards my house. This is only like, a half-mile walk. Like, it wasn't that bad. I was in high school. Like, it was an easy distance. But yeah, walking past like a spooky old school like 1800 cemetery every night, it was a little weird sometimes. Yeah, so like I got the
Good
Bad
times.
Warhammer stuff going. I got books I'm reading, shows we're watching. It's been great. And yeah, I also now know that this weekend I apparently get to watch Wolverine and Deadpool again because it's on Disney Plus.
Nice.
Oh, that was the other one. I almost forgot. We watched it was Agatha All Along. I was quite impressed with what they did with that show and what they did with a certain character, which if someone hasn't seen, I'm not going to spoil it, but it was fun. It was a really fun follow-up to WandaVision was a great show, but it's not a fun watch. Like, they dropped that line, what is grief but love enduring? Like, it's a great show, but it's not something you watch for fun. Agatha All Along is fucked up, but it was a fun show. Like, I enjoyed the hell out of it. So yeah, that one was a good one, and I don't know if they're going to do any more. So it might just be a one and done. That was a fun trip of a show. Now I get to look forward to all the Christmas movies because the wife is already in Hallmark mode. We're all Christmas prep. She's got 2 trees up in the living room already. There's only going to be more because there's probably going to be another tree coming in here. And then I got my little condo tree. We might have 4 Christmas trees in the house. Like, we're going crazy this year. It's going to be awesome.
And so it begins.
Oh, it has begins.
Oh, it doesn't need to.
Mariah
What you been
Carey's
getting into,
back.
Willie?
Not Christmas trees.
Not yet.
Not ever again. I can tell you that.
Oh,
Not in here ever. Plus, I don't have a balcony anymore where I could suplex it off.
That is true. You were the king of suplexing off the balcony.
Oh, it was pretty fun. You should have seen the elbow drop after I did afterwards.
Did you do it Macho Man style?
Oh, I definitely cracked 2.5 ribs doing that. It was
and
not
in the
pleasant.
stack of books, I forgot it did arrive. Kaiju Unleashed by Sean Pryor, baby. Gotta love it.
Sexy.
It's on sale. It's on sale right now on Amazon. Go get yours. Sorry, Willie.
Oh, sorry. I have Yakuza on the brain because I've been also getting into Like a Dragon Ishin, which is a spin-off of the Yakuza series where it's based on true events that happened in the 1860s in Japan at the end of the Edo period. And you play as characters that actually did exist. And the whole plot is revealing who killed your father, or not father, but your father figure. And
Wait.
I'm still in the very early bits of that.
If I remember correctly, end of the Edo period, so you're going from samurai walking around with katana to like modern clothing. That awesome. Well, I'm saying like wearing like pants and jackets versus kimonos and Bushido armor.
I thought you were going a different way, but more like the classical like draping kind. I forget what those were called, but they do have swords, but they also got guns.
Yeah, so it's that
You got
crossover
swords
period.
and guns. Bam, bam, bam. Slicey, slice. Bam, bam, bam.
Yeah.
Slicey, slice.
Japan's real interesting during that period.
It's like I think the main meat of the story takes place in 1868. I want to say, it could be wrong.
Okay,
Like it's at the end of the Edo period.
I may really like that one. Give
But,
me some
it is-
Tsushima's vibe.
I will say the combat style is more akin to Yakuza 0 and Yakuza Kiwami, the remake of the first game. It's more those, because this is a remake of a game that came out in 2013 or 2014, I want to say. So it only came back, and it also never came stateside either. This is the first time, and I believe this game came out last year, like last 2020, like February of 2023, I want to say, if I'm correct. Yes. So I'm playing through that. I'm very early still on in the beginning of it. Other than that, let's keep this short and sweet. I did go to a Renaissance festival, and just to make it short and funny, I saw a teenage girl in a Hustler t-shirt. That was pretty weird.
At a Ren fair?
At a Ren fair. Like, the t-shirt was like a graphic t-shirt and had a bunch of covers of Hustler magazine. That was weird.
That is strange.
Where the fuck do you get a t-shirt like that in this day and age?
Well, and
not that I'm against it. It's just
a Ren fair. Yeah, it seems like a very strange place to wear it to.
Listen,
I'm wearing a shirt made out of magazine covers.
Well, it's not made out of the magazine.
But I mean, the images are. Yeah, like that's just very strange.
I mean, I also saw a man in full Tweedledee and Tweedledum. Like, he looked like he was the part. I don't mean to judge them, but
was he the D or
you're
the dumb?
A grown man. What? Why are you looking like an egg?
Nice.
No, not nice.
Yeah, nice.
No, I mean, I guess he looked the part. I'd give it that to him.
Did he have the stripes?
Shoot, hold on a second. Let me
like
see
Disney
if
style?
I'm making sure I'm thinking of the correct thing. Tweedledee and Tweedledum.
So I thought Tweedledee and Tweedledum had the horizontal stripes in the Disney one. Maybe I'm thinking of the wrong character. We are Rusty.
Oh, no. No, I'm thinking of something closely but different. Like, these were like shorts I was thinking of. Oh, well, it was weird. I was at a Ren fair. Was fun. Super fun. I liked it.
Nice.
The last Ren fair I went to, I learned that the turkey legs are overrated. They're not bad. It's turkey, man.
It's just a big turkey.
They're better fowl than that.
Fair.
But that's what I've been getting into.
Well, thank you, Willie. We're glad that you've been getting some Like a Dragon time in, and will continue to be doing so.
Can't wait to be the pirate.
Pirate Willie.
Pirate Yakuza. That sounds interesting too.
Well, on that note, everyone who's watching us live, thank you for joining us live. Thanks for coming back for our triumphant return after taking a short hiatus. A friendly reminder that now that we're back, we do this show live every week. Right now, we're on Thursday evenings. Stay tuned to Threads or Blue Sky or wherever as we share dates and times coming up. And we do like to stream as part of the Gonna Geek Network. See, we're so rusty, I screwed up this whole transition here that I used to have memorized. For those unfamiliar, the Gonna Geek Network is a network of podcasts of friends that like to chit-chat about geeky and nerdy things. You can find out more by going to GonnaGeek.com. And while you're there, we do invite you to come join us on the official Gonna Geek Discord, where there is a channel specifically to the All Things Good and Nerdy podcast. You can come chat with us, bullshit with us, tell us how we were wrong about something, or just kind of have some fun with the rest of our community. Head on over to GonnaGeek.com/Discord to join that community. Before we shut this thing down, you guys have any final thoughts for the people?
Let me know where you get your Hustler shirts, because I want to know.
I mean, did you Google Hustler shirt and see what you can find?
Nope. But that's not an end of the show type of thing to do unless you got the time.
I would suggest we not do that on the show.
Not Google that? Yeah. Probably not do it live.
I also didn't mention
it. There's an old episode of this show, like back in the single digits, that was called "Don't Google That Shit." I think that applies.
There you go. Yeah, I do. Yeah,
don't Google that shit.
Well, I was being time constrained. Definitely do Google that, just not right now. We're trying to end the show.
That's fair. Well, on that note, we are going to shut things down. Thank you so much, everyone who did join us, and we will see you all next week. Thanks for listening to this brand new episode of the All Things Good and Nerdy podcast. Don't forget, we'll be back next Sunday live at 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central over at live.atgnpodcast.com, channel 3 of the Alpha Geek radio app, and over at our network home at gonnageek.com/live. If you have any feedback for the show, please contact us atgnpodcast@gonnageek.com, on our hotline number at 304-806-ATGN, or even better, go to Twitter and send us a message at ATGN Podcast. The music you've heard in this show is produced by Kevin MacLeod and can be found at incompetech.com.